Hey, how's it going? Alex here from IdeaSpot, and in today's WordPress tutorial, you'll learn how to build a blog website completely from scratch using a free theme, a free template, a free page builder, and free plugins. We're going to design this exact blog completely from scratch using only free tools. So you're going to have exactly this site, you're going to have this sign up form here, and we're going to blog in multiple categories. So you can have your fitness blog and a nutrition blog using the same website. You just categorize your posts and they go straight in. And on your home page, I'm also going to show you a little trick so you can display your latest post right there on the front page. So if that sounds interesting, keep watching. Now we are starting complete from scratch, so the video is a little bit longer than usual, but I have broken it into sections using that timeline below, so feel free to jump around to the sections that interest you or come back to the sections that you want to revise and get comfortable and watch as much as you can, hit subscribe, maybe come back to it later. It's totally up to you. I have tried to make the video as friendly as possible for all skill levels, but I'm just interested. Let me know in the comments if you are a beginner or intermediate, or if you are a WordPress pro. I'd love to know what my audience is. Just let me know in the comments. Just one word: beginner, intermediate, or pro. Now, the main reason to start blogging with WordPress is to build an organic audience. Now, this is the best way to get free traffic on the internet. And that can help any business or any profession, and it can increase the authority in your field or your chosen niche. And you can always monetize that with affiliate links, ebooks, courses, and even physical merchandise. So check out my earlier videos and hit subscribe and come back to the channel later and watch these earlier videos, because I've totally covered these topics before and they'll be very helpful once you have your own blog up and running. So we are starting completely from scratch. So we're starting from getting a domain and hosting set up straight away from SiteGround. And then we set up WordPress. We set up our theme and template using the free version of Astra. We set up the homepage and edit our blog pages using the free version of Elementor. We start posting blogs and we create category pages for our blogs. And we also set up our contact form. So that's the basic overview. Like I said before, in the timeline, I've broken it all up into chapters as well, so jump around as you need. Now, we do recommend SiteGround for your hosting for a couple of reasons. And the number one reason is in the poll that we took on our WordPress Facebook group for WordPress developers and WordPress designers, SiteGround came up on top. That's the one we trust the most for beginners. And the other great reason was its performance in the review signal benchmarks. So it did really well. It earned an honorable mention, and that was only the $5.95 plan. It was competing in the $25 category, so it's really outperformed its price. So it offers incredibly good value, and you get a really big discount when you first sign up. So I've put a link in the description where you can go ahead and sign up. Go ahead and follow that link, and let's get started. Following that link will take us here where we can choose our hosting plan. Now, by far the best value plan is this Grow Big plan, because you get unlimited websites. So if you're thinking of building more than one website, this is the one I'd recommend. But if you really just needed one website, you could save a couple dollars just by going for the startup plan. But for this example, let's go for the Grow Big plan and click Get Plan. The next step is to choose a name for our website. So I'm just going to go with ideaspotdemo.com for this demonstration, but you can choose whatever you like. And you don't need to choose .com. There's lots of different extensions you can choose from. And if you already have a domain, you can select that option there. But I'm going to go with that and click Proceed. Now it's just a matter of filling out our account and payment information. After filling that out, there's one thing we want to pay attention to down here, and that is the data center. So for most general audiences that are English speaking, you'd want to choose the USA, and that's selected by default usually. But depending on where you are, another one might have been selected, or you might want a different one to suit your audience. For example, I'm in Australia, and if I was building like a local business website for an Australian business and all their readers are going to be from Australia, I'd choose that one. But I think generally, if you've got an English speaking audience and you're aiming at a worldwide audience, then go for the USA. But if you've got a specific audience in mind, choose one that's the closest to that audience. The next thing to focus on is the period. Now, you want to choose at least 12 months to get that full discount, but you can also choose 24 or 36 months, and you'll get that discount applied over an even longer period. So you can save more in the long run, but you have to pay more up front. So for this demo, let's just go for 12 months, but if you want to save more over the long term, choose a longer plan. Now, domain privacy and site scanner. You definitely don't need site scanner. You can use a free plugin like Securi or WordFence. Check out my earlier videos where I walk you through how to do that. Domain privacy, I think it depends on your project, how much privacy you really want, but I think a lot of people will want that, but it's not compulsory, so I might just leave it unticked for that, but it's totally up to you. Finally, we just need to check that you confirm the terms and conditions. You don't need to confirm the email, and then you go ahead and click Pay Now. Then we'll get a success message where we can then proceed to the customer area. Now, the first time we log into our dashboard, we'll get this option here to set up site. You can also get there through websites. Well, let's go ahead and click Set Up Site. And then we've got the option of starting a new website or migrating our existing website over to SiteGround. So for this example, we're going to be starting a new website. So let's choose that one. And we're going to choose WordPress. Now we just need to enter an email address and a nice strong password for our WordPress admin details. And then we click continue. I'm just going to save my password into Chrome. It's also worth noting that if you registered a domain during your sign up process, you'll get an email to verify your domain. So go ahead and make sure you verify your domain from your email there. It'll look something like this. Now at this stage, it will try to sell us the site scanner again. You do not need to add it. Let's just go ahead and click finish. Now it creates our site. It takes a couple of minutes, so be patient. So now we'll get a success message and we can go and click manage site. This will take us to our SiteGround dashboard for our website. Now, the first thing I like to check is the security, and let's check SSL Manager. Now, the nice thing about SiteGround is we get an SSL certificate for free when we sign up, and it's automatically been set up. So all we have to do is click those three dots and click Enforce HTTPS. Now, that'll make sure we've got our little padlock in the top corner of our website, and any traffic from our website to our users' browsers will be encrypted and secure. And let's go ahead and click that and we'll get a success message. And so that is all good to go. The next thing we can do is go and click WordPress, install and manage. And there is our site that we installed earlier. Let's go ahead and log into the admin panel. Now SiteGround will give you this setup wizard. I'd rather just use the standard WordPress setup. So let's just click exit and we can skip all that. The other thing SiteGround does is gives us this little starter plugin to make things easier to set up. I actually just prefer to use the standard WordPress setup. Let's go to plugins and install plugins, and we can actually deactivate this WordPress starter plugin. And that will turn everything back to standard WordPress. So let's go back to our dashboard and see what it looks like. So this is just a standard WordPress dashboard, nice and clean, ready to start work. I have noticed it's asking for an update. So let's go ahead and click that updates. And the default theme is asking for an update. So let's may as well update that while we're here. Let's just select that one and click update. It should only take a second. There we go. There's one thing I'd like to check as well. Let's look at settings and general. And let's make sure we change our address to HTTPS to make sure all the new pages get built with the padlock. So let's go down and click save changes. Because we changed our site address, it's going to ask us to log back in. So just log back in with your WordPress email and password and click login. There we go. I'm actually going to save that password to Chrome. Now there are a couple settings worth checking just before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's go to settings and let's go to discussion. I like to turn comments off on posts. You can turn comments on later if you like, but I think you'll just get spammed when you're first starting out with a blog. So I'll turn comments off and go ahead and click save changes. The other thing is just check permalinks. Check that your permalinks is set to post name. This one already is, which is good. If it's set to plain, sometimes they're default set to plain. You don't want a number as your post name. You want a nice descriptive post name. It's much better for search engine optimization and Google. So make sure it's set like that. Mine already is. If not, click post name and click save. But now we are ready to have a look at our site. So this is what a blank WordPress website looks like. Not too pretty, but we can quickly change that. So we can add a theme to our website. So let's go to appearance and themes, and let's go add a new theme. Now WordPress has thousands of free themes. The one I really recommend when you're first starting out with WordPress is Astra. So let's just search for Astra and let's go ahead and install that one. It's really fast, really easy to use, and it has tons of free templates. So you'll get a really nice result without too much work. So install that one, click activate. Now that that's activated, you'll get the option to use a starter template. So let's click Get Started. Starter templates are super easy to use, and you'll get that really nice professional result without a lot of work. So after activating the starter templates, you'll get to choose your page builder. I really recommend Elementor. It's the best free one out of these, but they're all pretty good. Gutenberg is the default one that comes with WordPress, and it's a bit clunky at this stage, but it's still okay. But let's use Elementor. I really think it's the best option out of these. Now we'll get to choose our starter template. So there's loads to choose from, and many of them are free as well. So let's go ahead and just filter them by free to start with. And you can scroll through these. Some of them are good, nice simple ones. Some of them can actually be used for e-commerce. So there's a few there. Brand store is really awesome, and cosmetic store is a really nice new one. Besides that, there is some business ones, and there's a blog for fashion. And let's just have a look at all of them. And I think for today's demonstration, I'd like to do sort of a nutrition, fitness, health type blog. So let's choose nutritionist. I really like the look of this one. It's fairly new. They're always adding new ones, and the newer ones always look a little bit more modern. So I quite like this one. I'm going to click import the complete site, and it's going to say your site is being imported. And all we want to do is make sure those are ticked. And if you've already got one installed and you want to change to another one, you can delete the previously imported one. But otherwise, go ahead and click import. Now this takes between 2 to 10 minutes, depending on the speed of your connection. So just be patient as that one is importing. You'll see the progress tick along here. So after a few minutes, we'll get our success message, and then we can click view site. And this will show our freshly built WordPress website. So this is our starter template. So we've got a nice full screen header. It's all really nicely well set up. We can scroll down. We've got a slider here by the look of it. That's pretty cool. And we've got a few of these images that have that nice hover effect, a few quotes. You've got a link to their book, and we can totally customize any of these sections. We'll get to that in a minute. What else do we have here? Let's have a look at the about page. That's pretty clean. It's really nice to have a good about page. I don't really like the way that overlays over the top of her face. We can fix that up in a minute. The other thing they've got is a blog. So looking at that, it doesn't look like it has any blog posts in there. We can totally change that and add some blog posts. And what else have we got? We've got a contact page there where you've got a nice contact form, and you've got a Google map there as well. So it's a pretty good start. I think we can make it look a little bit flashier, a little bit more fun to use, and we can definitely get that blog happening as well, which is the goal of our lesson today, which is to make a nice WordPress blog using Elementor. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we might do is actually just load up this main page in Elementor. So let's load that up. There we go. And just wait for that to load. So this is the Elementor page builder. Now let's spend a little bit of time going through the Elementor page builder and learning how it works. This is the free version, so you get the basic elements. You don't get those pro elements, but let's not worry about that. You also get these general elements, and you get the basic WordPress elements down here as well. So we can also add more elements to that using some free plugins as well. I'm going to cover that a bit later, so keep watching. But for now, let's just learn how to use some of the basic elements and learn how these sections and columns, images and backgrounds, learn how it all fits together. Elementor is pretty easy to use. Your page is basically made of 3 things. It's made of sections, which are these blue tabs at the top of each section. And inside the sections, you've got these columns, which is that column icon there in the top left. And then inside the columns, you've got elements. And elements, you can get them from the Elementor element menu here. And you can just drag and drop elements into your page. We'll get to that in a second. Now, because we're using an Astra starter site, we have already some pre-designed sections in our page already. So usually we can edit these just by clicking on the element and changing the content in there. So here where it says, hello, I am nutritionist Lucy Anderson, we can start editing that. So I can just change that to welcome to Idea Spot Fitness. And I'm going to change this Lucy Anderson. I'm just going to say let's get started. Now down here, they've got a contact form where readers can get in contact with you through filling out their details and hitting the submit button there. Now they've called it a way to get your free hormone balancing meal plan, but we could totally change that to something else. Let's just call it get your free beginner training plan. And the same thing with this little bit of text here. This is just a normal text editor. Let's change that to something else, shall we? So this is just filler text. I might say something like, welcome to IdeaSpot Training, where we share tips with you about cardio and strength training for beginners. So you can either just type it directly in here, or you can use the text editor in there to type your text as well. So either way is fine. So I'm just going to delete this out. Just select and delete and say, welcome to... And there we go, that's all done. So we're getting a little bit of progress now. So when you're happy with your progress, make sure you click update, and that will go ahead and save your changes into the page. And our next step will be looking at changing some of these images. So we can see here we've got one image of the girl doing some training and a background image of some fruit in the background there with a blue overlay by the look of it. So let's look at editing those now. Now, because I'm not involved in the fitness or training industry at all, I don't have any actual photographs of these topics, but it's not a problem. We can totally get some free stock images to use for our website. So for free stock images, I always like to go over to pexels.com and search for the topic that I'm working on, and then download some images and put them into my website. So let's go ahead and do that now. So let's head over to pexels.com and we can search. I'm just going to search for fitness, and we get lots of nice high-res fitness photos that we can use on our site, and these are all totally free to use for commercial use as well. So we can use them on a business website, and there's no royalties for using these, so totally free to use. So let's start by, say, downloading this picture of the girl exercising on the beach there. So just go to free download. You can choose the size. Original is way too big for web design. You usually want to use the large size for using WordPress. So that's 1920 wide, which is the size of a normal desktop screen, which is pretty good. And then WordPress will automatically generate smaller images where you need them. But I think you just start with that large image for your basic backgrounds and things that we're going to be working on. So go for large, or you can actually go for custom as well and type in 1920 if the 1920 is not available on there, but it is. So let's go ahead and download that one, and you can go ahead and close that box, and we can see that it's just downloaded down there. So now I'm going to close out of that, and I'm going to download a few more. I think to get started, you probably want about a dozen images for the website just to get your basic design made. Make sure you get a little bit of a mix of landscape, so that's wide by. So now I'm going to close out of that, and I'm going to download a few more. I think to get started, you probably want about a dozen images just to get your basic design made. Make sure you get a combination of landscape images and portrait size images as well, just so there'll be cases where you need portrait, cases where you want to use a landscape size image. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to download a few images. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and downloaded 8 of these fitness images. The next thing I might do is grab some background images as well. So I'm just going to type background into Pexels. Now, you just get some nice, interesting little backgrounds that we can use as our section background. So let's just go ahead and download a few of these ones. So what might be nice for fitness? I think like a nice landscape would work pretty good, like this one. Let's grab the large version of that. I might just grab like 4 of these backgrounds. What else would be good? That looks pretty cool. There we go. And what else can we use? Maybe that looks like you're going on a journey. We could use a metaphor like fitness being a journey. There we go. There's some mountains as well. So that looks pretty cool. I think we'll be able to use some of these on our website. So let's have a look at what we've got now. So here's my downloads folder. I've got a few images that we can start with. I'll show you how we can upload these into our media library and use them on our website in just a second. So let's firstly head back to Elementor and let's look at changing this background image. So to get to the background image, we have to click the section and then we look at the style of the section. So every element and section and column in Elementor has its own layout, style, and advanced options. So in this case, we're looking at the section and we're going to its style options. So here we can see they've got the background with that fruit platter. So we can go ahead and click choose image. And this is where we can drop in our files that we just downloaded from pexels.com. So let's go ahead and get our downloads file, our downloads folder, and drop them all into here. Okay, so here are our photos. Let's just drop them in and wait for those to upload. That shouldn't take too long. And there we go. All of our new images are uploaded into our media library. We can see the current background is this one here with the fruit, and all the new ones there are right up the top. So let's change our background. Let's go for maybe that nice mountain picture there. So let's go with that. So that looks pretty cool. And we can change this girl here as well. So click on the image there, and then we can go ahead and choose a new image. So let's perhaps go with the girl going for a little jog there. Let's see how that looks. That's not too bad. I think it's a little bit too long for what we want. Let's go for something a little bit different. So maybe these girls doing the calisthenics there. That's a landscape size photo, so that doesn't really work too well either. So what I want is a portrait size. So we could use that one, we could use maybe that one, or we could use perhaps this one here. So doing the dumbbells, I think that looks perfect actually. Let's go with this one. I still think it's a little bit too long for this design. What I might do is just crop the image a little bit. So let's go to choose image. Let's go to the girl there, and we can actually edit the image in WordPress itself. So I just want to click crop, and you can actually crop this image and resize it a little bit like that. So that's just by going to the crop tool there. And then I'm going to click crop again. That looks better. Click save. And then we can go ahead and update our image. Cool. Now, hopefully with any luck, our Elementor image will have changed as well. So go back to Elementor and let's just reload the page and see what we've got. Now, I think that looks a lot better. The only thing I might change with this column is that its alignment is on the top. I'd like this image to be centered in the column vertically. So let's go ahead and click on the column and let's look at the layout. I want the vertical alignment to be middle. So now it's moved the image to the middle. I think that looks a little bit more balanced. So let's go ahead and click update. So, I mean, basically we've changed the entire section now. So we've changed our text, background, and the image there. We can change this form a little bit later, but that's later on in the tutorial where we'll talk about contact forms and how to edit those. But the other thing I'd like to do is maybe just tweak that background overlay a little bit, because we didn't really cover how that blue overlay got onto this background image. So let's click on the section, let's go to style, and we've got our background image there, and down there we've got background overlay. So they've chosen a color overlay and they've chosen some opacity, and it's actually 97 I think they had as their opacity, so it was almost completely blue. And if we drag it there, we can see more of the background. If we drag it over here, we can see more of that blue overlay. So I think you definitely need to keep that quite opaque to be able to get that readability on our text, but that's basically how we do it. And they're using a slight gradient, so it's shading from one blue to another blue. Those blues look very similar. So if we change it to a green and a blue there, we could actually get a different effect. So let's grab a blue there. So now we've got blue and green, for example, and we can change the opacity of that overlay. So I think it really does need to be a nice dark, deep blue for this sort of design. So let's go get a much deeper blue there, and maybe a much deeper green. So I think that's pretty cool. I'd rather maybe just use 2 shades of blue. So I think let's go something like that, or maybe add a bit of purple to it. So we've got blue and purple. So it's very subtle. Let's go with a little bit more brightness. It's totally up to you with these color schemes, but I think that looks pretty good. And then let's look at the opacity a little bit there. Let's grab that button. There we go. So that's basically how you do it. In this case, they've chosen a gradient with 2 colors. You can just choose 1 color as well if you wanted to just use 1 blue. Gradients look pretty cool. So let's just go with that gradient and go ahead and click update. But I'm pretty happy with that. So that's one way of doing a section. You basically take your Astra starter template section and just edit all the elements in there and get it towards something that you like as your design. Now, you could go ahead and do the same thing here, change that image, change the text. What we'll do for the next example is, let's go ahead and just make a new section from scratch. So all you do, I'll just repeat what I did there, is click the plus thing on the section that will let us add a section. And now there are several ways to do it. You could just add one and design one from scratch. So you could just choose 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, etc. The other way you could do it is by using one of Elementor's templates. And so Elementor has a library of free pages, free blocks, and you can save your own templates in My Templates as well. And you could do it that way. And the other way we've got is Astra actually installs some starter templates as well. Now these are really cool. So let's try using one of these Astra templates. So they've got pages there and blocks are in here. So we can just scroll down and Astra's got some cool little blocks that you can pop into our page. So what should we use for this example? I think this is okay. Let's grab maybe this one, or yeah, I didn't mind that. Let's look at that one. So these are square images. I'm interested to see what will happen if we put landscape images into there. So let's import that block. And there we go. There's our block has been imported. I'm going to close that one there, and let's try and change these images and see what happens. So they've got 6 images. This is an image carousel. So we can actually put our own images into that carousel. So what I'm going to do is click edit there, and I'm going to close those off. Now it looks like we might need square images for this to look right, so it may not look perfect when we do this, but let's go to our fitness images and let's go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's pop 4 images in there and see what that looks like. So there we go. And that looks like actually pretty okay, given that they're all exactly the same aspect ratio. We've got a little carousel of fitness images. And we could just change this text as well. So we could call it fitness tips. Oh, let's just change it. Let's call it fitness pics. And there we go. So we could call it our latest workouts. There we go. Shots of our training sessions. Click update. So that looks pretty cool now. But that's all you do. You can just add new blocks and then browse through those Elementor blocks and add those in. Now, if you really wanted to start designing things yourself, you can totally do that as well. So you can click, let's just do a 2-column structure. And this is a blank section. So we can add our own images and text and things on there just by building it from scratch with these elements. So I'm just going to drag an image into that left one there. And then we go ahead and click an image, and then we can add something in. So let's add that girl doing the plank, or maybe we'll go for, let's go for that girl dancing. I thought that was quite a long image. Let's see what that actually looks like when we do that. So it's pretty big. We could drop the size down to medium maybe. Medium is there. Now that's a little bit too small. Let's just choose a different image. I think it might be a little bit easier. So let's go with that girl doing some exercise there. That looks pretty decent. Now, I think what I'd want to put on this is a bit of white space because it's a bit too close to the section above it. And we notice we've got some nice white space there below it. So what we can do here is just add some space to the section, and that will be under advanced, and we can add some padding here. So we can add like 100 pixels of padding. That's one way of doing it. That adds 100 all around. We don't want the padding on the left and right. We just want it on the top and the bottom, I think. So we can just put the left one as 0 and the right one as 0. And I think that looks okay now. It balances out with the rest of the layout. One thing I've noticed is that girl is in both of these sections. I might actually just remove the girl out of this section just so it doesn't look so repetitive. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And for our right column, let's go ahead and pop a heading in there, and we can put some text on there as well, shall we? Let's just put some text in there, and I just want that to be centered in the column there. So let's make the vertical alignment in the middle, and let's make the actual text centered as well, shall we? So we'll go to style and center the text. Same with the heading style, and where is it in the content? It's in the content, and we want the content to center. So half of using Elementor is just remembering where all these things are. Sometimes you'll find it under content, sometimes you'll find the option you want under style. So in the case of the actual text, that was under style, but in the case of the heading, for some reason it was under the content. But anyway, it is fairly easy to use after you've used it for a while. You'll remember where content and style and the things that it does. So content is usually at the actual text itself, and then the actual things like colors and shadows and backgrounds and things, you'll find them under style. So let's just change our heading here. Let's call it core workouts. There we go. And we'll click update to save it. So I think we've basically done 3 different methods now. So we've used an Astra block from the Astra library. That's just by going into Astra there and adding a block from their library. We've designed one ourselves just by clicking the new section, making a new section with columns. Now I always recommend just using 1 or 2 columns, and that looks good on most devices. As soon as you go with 3, it can get a bit awkward on, say, tablets, but 1 or 2 works really good in most cases. And the other one, we're doing an editing of just the existing starter template. So that was a really good way of building a section as well. So starter template, building one from scratch, building one from an Astra block. Now, if you're a beginner, I really recommend just edit the standard ones that you got on your starter site. You'll get the quickest results doing that. If you really want something a little bit different, go through those Astra blocks, and then after you've got some more experience, try designing your own sections by building them from scratch. So now that we've done this, we can have a bit of a preview of what it looks like. Now you can kind of preview your page anytime by clicking that little arrow there, and that will hide your menu, and you can scroll up and down and see what you've designed so far. The other thing you can do is just go back to your page and actually just reload. So this is what we had before. I'm going to make a new tab on the right. I'm going to copy that link and just compare and contrast what we've done. So that's what we had at the start, and that's what we made. So just by changing the backgrounds and the content, you can see that it makes a totally big difference there. And you can see we've got our sections that we designed in Elementor. We can actually look at other devices as well. So let's pop that sidebar back out, and down there you've got a responsive mode icon, and you can change to tablet, and that's what it would look like on a tablet. And you can change to mobile as well, so you can look at what it would look like on a mobile phone. And the beauty of these Astra templates are they've already designed them to be responsive for mobile, so you'll save heaps of design effort knowing that your designs look good on mobile already, and all we had to do was change the main settings and it would all work just perfectly. So really, really cool for beginners using Elementor and editing starter templates. So let's get on with changing some other parts of our website, shall we? Now, I think we've got enough skill in Elementor to do basic design and change a basic template website. So we can go ahead and start building our website. But what we haven't touched yet either is this header. So we've got our icon and our menu in our header, and that will appear on all of our pages. So this isn't actually done through Elementor, that's done through the Astra theme customizer. So let's go ahead and look at customizing our theme now. So let's head back to our WordPress dashboard. So you can always get to your dashboard by typing your domain name /wp-admin. You can also get there by just looking at your page when you're logged in, and you'll have a header admin bar there where you can go to your dashboard, just like that as well. So either way is cool. Now let's have a look at editing our theme. So we go down to Appearance and Customize, and that will open up our theme customizer. So here we are in our theme customizer. This is where we can change our header. So you'll see a blue pencil pop up, and that will take us to the element that you can edit. And we've got our logo there, and we've got our menu here. You can also get there manually by navigating through these menus. So you go to header and site identity and find your logo there as well. So either way is cool. Click the blue pencil, takes you here. We can go ahead and change our logo. Now, we don't actually have a logo yet for our website, so we could actually just remove that, and then that would leave it blank. You could also display your site title there. Instead of having a logo, just click display site title, and then we could call it Idea Spot Fitness. And that would be another way of doing things. However, let's go ahead and design a logo, because that might be fun for this website. So if you've never designed a logo before, probably the quickest and easiest way is to head over to canva.com. Now this is totally free to use. Now there are some premium features, but you can totally design a nice logo just by using the free version of this website. So we go to templates and we can go to logo, and that will take us here. And there's loads of interesting pre-designed logos that we could use potentially for our website. So we can just have a look around and find something that might be suitable for Idea Spot Fitness. So just scrolling through, well, there's a nice little fitness sort of one here. So let's go ahead and edit this. So I'm going to use this template, and that'll open up our Canva editor. And then we can just click on any of these things and edit them. So instead of calling this lift and press, I might call that Idea Spot. Instead of fitness cam, let's call it fitness. Just call it fitness, nice and simple. So a little bit too much spacing there. I think to change that, I've got to ungroup those blocks, and then I can actually move that and move that to where it looks a little bit better. I think that's pretty right. I might group those back together again and get that in the middle. And this orange, I might go with something a bit more suitable for our site. I think a green or a blue. We can actually change the blue just by hovering around there. So I think that's pretty much what we want. We can go ahead and then download that. So we can download it as a PNG or a JPEG. I think PNG is good for logos, so let's go ahead and do that. There we go. We can close out of that. Our download will go down there. What we should actually do is give it a better title before we download it. Let's call it Idea Spot Fitness Logo. Always give your images good descriptive names. It's better for your search engine optimization. So go ahead and download that there again. Cool. So now let's go back to our customizer, and we were going to add that logo in. So let's go to select the logo and upload that file. I'm going to get that from my downloads. Where did we have it? There we go, Idea Spot Fitness logo. Pretty cool. Let's select that one. It'll give us an option to crop the logo, which looks pretty good there. Maybe make it a little bit less white space. Okay, and let's crop the image there. See how that looks. There we go, idea spot fitness. We don't want the title displayed there anymore. Let's untick that. And it's a little bit too small, isn't it? We can make it bigger. And you can see as soon as you make it too big, it starts to increase the actual height of the header. So I think it starts to affect the height of the header around, say, 200. So let's just leave it. 200 looks about right. The actual fitness is a little bit hard to read. It's not too bad. Maybe we can make it 250, I think. Actually looks pretty good. Honestly, I think what we need to do with this logo is make the word fitness a little bit bigger in relation to idea spot, just to get that legibility right when you're looking at such a small size logo compared to what we've got actually in our canvas. So we can actually change that here. That's totally fine. What can we go with? 24. I think that'll be a lot better. Let's have a look at the spacing there. There we go. So let's go ahead. Let's call it V2 just for this demo. And let's download another copy of it. There we go. Let's go back to customize and let's change that logo. Let's get an updated logo. So making a logo is kind of an iterative process usually anyway. So you do want to tweak and change things as you go. It's just part of the design process. So I might crop out some of that white space and go ahead and crop the image. And there we go. I think that's perfect. So let's go ahead and click publish. Now let's go ahead and have a look at changing that menu. So if we click the pencil, that takes us to the actual menu properties, and that lets us set the last item in the menu. So at the moment it's set to none. You can actually put like a search icon there where you can search the blog. So I might leave it as that. The other things you've got, you can make a customized button. So if you wanted to say link them to your contact page, you could do that. You could put your own custom text in that corner there. That's a contact us button, but you can write any text you want in that little box there. The other thing you can do is add a widget. I think you could add like say as like a social icon widget or something like that. So you could put your Facebook, YouTube, Instagram icons in there. I think for this, let's just go with a search icon, just for now at least. And then let's have a look at our actual menu. So let's go back to the main menu there and click menus. And we've got the top navigation menu, and that's got our menu here. See these items, they match up with the items that are in our menu. And we can easily add or remove things by clicking add items. So for example, if I didn't want the success stories thing to be in our menu, we could click the X and that removes it. It doesn't delete the page from our website. It just deletes the link from the menu. Anytime you build a new page, the page will pop up in here and you can actually add and move things to and from the menu just by doing that. So let's say we wanted to add the sample page there. We could add it to the menu, and then if we look at our menu now, the sample page should be on there. So I'm going to click publish, and there we go. Sample page is there, just for example. But I obviously don't really want the sample page there, so we'll click X and remove that out. So I think to simplify our design process, let's just have a home page, an about page, a blog page, and a contact page. So let's remove programs there as well, and go ahead and click publish. And that will cut down our design time for this tutorial. We'll be able to get a nice result a little bit quicker if we're only doing the 3 pages plus the blog. So looks nice and clean anyway. I think having only 3 to 5 options works really well with these kind of menus. So let's have a look at our home page and see how it's looking now. So I might just open that in a new tab and see what we've got. So we've got our logo, we've got our menus been customized. We've done like 3 sections. We haven't touched any of these other sections yet. We can totally do that later. But we know the skills in Elementor that we need to actually build and change and edit sections. So it's not a problem. We can totally tackle that. The things we haven't touched on at all is the actual blog and making posts for our blog. And the other thing we haven't looked at is our footer. So probably, since we just did the header, let's actually look at the footer as well now. So to get to this footer, you can go to your admin header bar there, and you've got the footer option there as well. So let's go ahead and click footer, and that will take us to our footer. And this footer has been designed in Elementor. So this is super easy to edit. So this is the same skills that we used in Elementor. All we're doing here is the footer. So we can click on that girl. She's doing a setup. We can change that to something else. Go ahead and click that. Let's take something out of our library. Let's go with those mountains. And there we go. And I wanted that background to be a little bit less blue, so we could go back to our background overlay. And let's just drop that opacity back a little bit. So we've got some more image popping through there. And we can go ahead and click this one. I don't want that logo thing there. I'm just going to call it, let's just call it Idea Spot Fitness. That looks pretty good. And you can go ahead and change those things. So we could call it, if you wanted to email me, that would be alex@ideaspot.com.au. Could put a phone number in there and an address there. Totally easy to do. Just fill in those bits of text in your editor. And then you've got some social icons there as well. So you can go ahead and click those. All you have to do is link that to your Facebook. So for example, my Facebook is https://facebook.com/ideaspot.au. So that'll be my Facebook. You're free to change these to whatever you want. If you didn't have something, like I don't have a Yelp, so I just go ahead and click X. I don't have Yelp. I don't have Twitter either, actually. I have an Instagram, but I barely use it, but it doesn't really matter for the sake of this blog. Let's pop the Instagram in there as well. So https://instagram.com/ideaspot.au. So that's all it is to it. And if there was one you wanted to add, all you do is click add item. So by default, that's a WordPress one. We can look at the icon library, and there's heaps of different things we can add there. So there's Twitch, there's Tumblr. We're obviously on YouTube. Let's go for YouTube. Insert a YouTube one. There it is. And pop your link into YouTube there. So mine is https://youtube.com/c/ideaspot. And that, I think that's my channel. Let's double check. Pretty sure. I should really know my own channel's address, shouldn't I? There it is. Hey, awesome. How's it going? Alex here from my... There I am. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click subscribe as long as we're here. See what I did there? Let's go back to our Elementor and keep working on our footer. There we are. So Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So when you've finished playing around with your footer, go ahead and click update, and then we are good to go. So let's go back to our homepage. I'm going to open the homepage again, and have we got there we go. We've got our new footer. It's all good to go. So the next step in this tutorial is let's look at some blogging. Now, let's open the blog page. I'm pretty sure this blog is just a blank page so far. So all we've got is our header and our footer, and there's nothing in that blog at all. So what we might do is start adding some posts. Now, I think they actually included a few demo posts with this Astra starter template. So we can actually have a look at enabling that. So let's head back to our dashboard. Let's open that in another tab. I might close these other things here. And let's go to settings and reading. So our home page is set to home, and our post page hasn't been defined yet. So what we could do is click blog and click save changes. And now if we reload our blog, they might have some demo content in there. So they've got maintaining well-being through stressful times. They've got 1, 2, 3 demo posts by the look of it. And if we read more, we can check this demo post. So that is basically the basic blog template. I'm going to show you how to customize this a little bit more. And this blog page, it's not very special. I think we can do a much better blog page than what they've given us by default as well. So let's work on that right now. So from here, let's just go back to those settings in the dashboard for settings and reading. And what we're going to do is we're going to build our own design on the blog page. So rather than using that default template, let's just turn that off, just turn it back to blank and save the changes. And now when we go back to blog, the demo content should be gone. We just have a header and our footer. And what we're going to do here is we're going to design our own blog style in this page. So I'm going to use a plugin to do this. Let's go to plugins here. So plugins and add new. Now, because Elementor doesn't give us a blog grid in the free version, what we can do is add a plugin that will give us that feature for free. So search for Premium Elementor. This is the one we want here, Premium Add-ons for Elementor. I'm just going to click Install now. Now this one gives you loads of free element widgets for Elementor, and it works in the free version, so it's pretty cool. The other one I really like is this one, Essential Add-ons for Elementor. Feel free to try both of them, to be honest. I just like the blog style in this premium one, so that's why I'm using the premium add-ons in this case. So let's click Activate. Now that that's all installed and active, let's go back to our blog page and let's edit this page. First time you do this, you'll get welcome to the block editor. You can just close that one. We're going to edit with Elementor here, and this will load Elementor up and it will convert the blog page to an Elementor page. So here we are, there's our header, there's our footer, and there we can start designing our blog in this section here. So since we installed the premium add-ons, we can actually scroll down the list of elements and we can see that we've actually added a bunch of elements here at the bottom. So you've got premium banner, premium blog, premium button, premium carousel. The one we're going to use here is the premium blog. So we just drag that premium blog in and we can see our posts pop up. And this is a way of displaying all of our posts on a Elementor page. Now we've got a few different ways of displaying this. So the first thing is columns. I usually like 1 or 2 columns. I rather display it like that with 2 or maybe 1. If you don't post very often, 1 can work really well. Let's go for 2 for this demonstration. I just think 3 can get a bit busy when you're looking at on a tablet. But anyway, let's keep working on with 2 columns. And you can see what we've got here. We've got the title, we've got some post meta, we've got the excerpt for the post, we've got like a little box around the content there, and we've only got 3 posts to work with so far, but we can add more. We'll work on that a bit later. And we also get a few different skin designs. So this one is called Modern. I think Classic is usually the best one. If we load that one up, it doesn't have that grey box. And there's also cards, and cards will put the author's profile avatar in the corner there. So let's just go with Classic. And let's work on turning off some of these post meta. To look at the post meta, we need to go to, I think it's post options there. So there we go. We've got show post content. That is the excerpt. So you can get rid of the excerpt if you want. I kind of like having the excerpt and the title. I think those are the most interesting things to put on the post. So I like to turn off the author meta, turn off the date meta, turn off the categories, and turn off the comments. So I think that looks a lot better. I'll turn these things off as well, tags meta and post format icon, and that cleans it up a little bit more even still. So looking a lot better. I'm going to click update to just save where this is. One thing I did notice was the icons didn't immediately load. There's supposed to be like an author icon there and say like a categories icon there. All you have to do is go into your elements on there and drag an icon in, and for some reason as soon as you load an icon manually, these icons will load up properly. So I think that's all you have to do. You only have to do that once, and then when you update the page you'll have your icons if that's what you would like on your blog meta there. But I actually didn't really want those blog meta anyway, so I can turn those off and click update. Let's go back to our general settings again. So by default, we've got grid and we've got masonry layout. We can have even layout as well, and that will even up the sizes of our boxes and our content there. For an even layout, you need to set a background color from Style tab Box. So let's go to Style tab and go to Box, and it says we need to set a background color. So make sure you do that. Go to Box, set a background color. So you can choose background colors for the boxes, and that will make sure that you've got nice even boxes. And if you don't really want that color, just choose white or whatever color your background is, and that will make sure it all ends up nice and even. So let's click update. I actually didn't mind having like a very light color there. That might be all right. So let's go with a gray and then really make it transparent. There we go. And what else can we do there? We can make the spacing and padding. We can adjust those. So we can make maybe make 5 pixel spacing. So that looks a bit cleaner. What if it's 10? Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't 100% like it, to be honest, because depending on how many lines you've got in your excerpt, you've got that little gap there. So I might just go back to 0 and just leave it white. I think that's the cleanest overall, but you can feel free to play around with that if you like those sort of options. The other thing to note was that our content box has a very slight gray on it, and you can actually change that as well. So you've got the background color there, and you can go ahead and select anything you like out of that. So let's say we wanted more of a transparent blue. We could go and set it like that. Totally up to you, of course, but that's where you find it. I'll click update. So there are loads of options. I'm not going to be able to go through all of them in this tutorial, but I'll go through the most powerful ones. So under content, query is quite important here as well. So you can actually filter these posts by categories. And if we set up blog categories, which I'll show you how to do later, we could actually have a grid. Say we just wanted a grid about fitness and a grid about nutrition. We could have 2 separate grids. We could set up, say, a nutrition page on our menu and a fitness page on our menu, and then put only fitness posts on that one and nutrition posts on that one. So that would be a really cool way if your blog covers multiple categories and you want to separate the blog grids out into separate pages. So a lot of people ask me about that, and I might go ahead and show you how to do that a bit later. The other thing you can do is offset the amount of posts. So say we don't want this one, we want a latest post, like a nice big one, and then put the next post below it in a grid. So we could change the offset to 1, and you could see the girl doing the exercise is gone now. And what we could do is we could make another blog grid and just say it's for the latest post. So if we scroll down, let's get our premium blog, drag that in there, and then we'd only want to display 1 post. And that's the girl doing the exercise. And then we could say, this is our latest post. So let's make it a little bit different. Let's make a large one and clean it up a little bit more like we did with the other one. So again, we just want to have an even layout. We want to have only 1 column for this example. And then we'll go to style. We want we have to set a box background color there. Go to white. There we go. We'll click update. A little bit wide, I think. We could bring that in a bit. So to make this less wide, we just go to our section, click on the middle button to edit the layout of this section, and we can change the content width there. So we can just drag it to get the width that we like. Now, I noticed this image is not a very high res image. If we were using a much higher res image, we could get away with a bigger featured image there for our thumbnail. So I definitely recommend using higher quality images than what they've used in the demo content. We can get to that a bit later, but I think this looks okay for our, let's make it say 550 for our featured image there, and go ahead and click update. Now I will tidy up those post and that style there as well. So let's go back to there and edit the premium blog, and then we're going to go to the post options, and I was going to turn all those off. So that tidies that up. So you can see there we've got like our latest post. We could say pop a heading up the top that says the latest news up here, and have that centered. And then you could have the older posts down there. So that would be a way of sort of featuring the latest thing you've written. You might even just put that on the home page and have the grid there below it. So I might just update that. We could save that for later. Maybe I'll put this on the home page and have the grid, the complete grid down here. So that might be another way of looking at things. So anyway, let's get back onto it. Let's actually look at adding some new posts to this. So I'd like to make a few more posts, and I'd like to set up some categories as well, so we could have a multi-category blog. So let's work on that now. Actually, looking at this, I think the title is way too big, the font size there. So let's see if we can change that as well. So let's go to Premium Blog, and we're going to look at the style of the title, and we can look at the typography there. So if I make the typography default, we can go back in there and we can look at this, the size. So we can adjust the size like that. So I think that looks about right. Maybe make it 24. That looks a lot better. I might do the same thing down here as well. So make those Premium Blog style and the title, typography size. I was going to make that 24. So that was the same. These have the light blue still. I might just stick with that for now. I think it's looking okay. What I might do is take this idea and move it over to the main page. So let's open our home page in another tab, and then let's edit that with Elementor. I'll show you how you can move sections in between pages just by having two Elementor tabs open. This is a pretty productive way of doing things. So we can see we've got our Elementor homepage that we've built before. I could put the latest post in here, so we could add a new section there. Let's go back here and let's actually go ahead and copy this whole section, and then we could pop that in there, just paste it in. There we go. And we could say latest news from our blog. There we go. Click update. And then on your main page, you've got that really cool little update that keeps your page from being too static. Now, I've noticed that there's a little mouse over hover effect that has a zoom in and a little crosshair thing. You can totally customize that. Let's go ahead and do that. So again, click on our Premium Blog little pencil there, and we want to go to style, and we want to look at the we want to go to the featured image. So I think that might actually be under content and featured image. There we go. So we've got a hover effect to zoom in. So we can actually change that. So we can have, say, grayscale, for example, and that will change it to gray. And what else have we got? We've got blur, which has a bit of a nice blur effect. Bright, quite like that bright effect. And the other thing we've got is this plus sign. So we have to go to style and image, and it's got the plus sign color. So if you don't actually like the plus sign there at all, what you can do is we could just make the plus sign totally transparent, and that would make it so you can't actually see that plus sign when you hover, which I kind of prefer. So let's go ahead and click update. So now that we've got the latest post on our main page, we don't really need to have it on our blog page. So we can go ahead back to our blog page here, and we can delete that out. And then all I really want is to have our nice grid. So let's change that grid again. We want to get all the posts displaying properly on here, not just the second and third post. So we can go back to our query and make sure you change that offset count. Let's change that back to nothing, and then we've got all of our posts displaying here. So go ahead and click update. Cool. So let's look at actually adding some posts to our blog. So we've got a grid that automatically updates every time we make posts. Let's see what happens when we make some new posts. So let's head back to our dashboard and let's go to posts, and let's look at all of our posts. So there we can see the 3 that came included with our starter template, but we can go ahead and add new posts pretty easily. I'll close up that little notification. I really don't like notifications hanging around all the time. I have a habit of closing them all off. but here we go. This is our post editor. Now, the latest version of WordPress has a nice full screen post editor where we can type in things. It's much like sending an email or writing something in Microsoft Word, whatever you're used to. This isn't that much different. So let's just call this one fitness tips. And then we can start putting in some content. So by default, it just puts a regular paragraph in. I'll just paste in some filler content like that. And then when you press enter at the end, it starts a new paragraph. So you can just go ahead and add paragraphs just like that. So I might add another paragraph in, and that's how that works. And then you can totally add new blocks just by pressing there. We can actually add an image. So let's go ahead and add an image like that. There's heaps of different blocks you can add. I'll remove a block by using those 3 dots and removing the block. Now, loads of different things you can add. You can add images, you can add lists, quotes. There's even things like you can embed, say, YouTube videos like that. You can type in to search for any elements you want to add. And because we're using the starter template, they've actually added this plugin called Ultimate Add-ons Blocks, which adds lots of cool things as well. So you can actually add post grids to your posts themselves, and you can add a Google map, for example. Loads and loads of things you can add to your posts. But for the most part, we really just do text, images, maybe the occasional video. So let's go ahead and add an image there, and let's grab a media library image, and let's grab the one of the girl doing the sit-ups, for example, and pop that in there. And that's the basics of making a blog post. Next thing I want to do is make sure we've got a featured image. So let's look at that. Under document, featured image, set the featured image. Now the featured images are the images that apply to your actual blog grid. So make sure everything has a featured image, and it's best if your featured images are the same sort of aspect ratio. So we're using a sort of a landscape ratio there. The best thing to do is really to pick a size, for example 1920 by 1080 or 1920 by 1280, and make all of your featured images exactly that size. But anyway, let's go with this one and set that as our featured image. And there we go. So now when we go ahead and click publish, let's click publish there. Our new post will be ready. We can go ahead and view that post. And that's our new blog post. And we can also see that in our blog, we've got our new post added to the grid. And if we go back to home, we actually have our latest news from our blog, has that girl doing sit-ups there as well. Might actually be nice to have a few more images to choose from. So let's go back to our edit post and let's click on that featured image again. So that was under document and featured image. And let's replace the image. And what I'd like to do is get a free image from Pixabay. So I mentioned that before, you can actually download free images from Pixabay into your media library. So I might search for fitness here, and let's actually look at, we want horizontal orientation, and let's search by the latest maybe, just to keep things fresh. So someone's posted some kettlebells. I don't think those are any good. Let's look at editor's choice perhaps. There we go. So there we've got some fitness pictures. I think that girl jumping next to the beach looks pretty cool, or the surfing girl. Let's go with this one. And then let's save and insert that one. So that will download this into our media library. So there we go. And then we can go ahead and replace the image. So I think now if we click update, I don't 100% like this because of the size. It's 1280 by 850. Let's see what it actually looks like. So it may or may not work. If I reload this, that actually looks fine. I'm pretty happy with that actually. So let's go with this. Now that's just how you add photos from Pixabay into your blog. So if you've ever needed a new picture, that's how you can quickly get one. If you're working on a new design and you want to quickly flesh things out, adding things from Pixabay is a quick way of doing that. So one thing that I noticed on our blog was the excerpt. So the actual size of these excerpts, I think is a little bit too long. And in this case, where things have gone on the title and broken onto the next line, it kind of messes up our spacing as well. So let's go back to Elementor and see what we can do with those issues. Here we are back in Elementor. Now, what I think is with our titles, we really just want our title to fit on one line, and that will give us the most even looking layout. So basically we want to have a long enough title for our blog posts, but we also want that title to fit on the one line. So that's going to be a combination of changing the font spacing and sizing. So let's go back to that font sizing. So let's look at the premium blog button there. Let's go to style and let's go to title. So we can edit that typography again. So let's go and click that one and let's look at the letter spacing a little bit. So let's change the spacing. So I think that's fitting on one line there. I think that looks a little bit tight. Maybe let's drop the font size down to maybe 20 and we can increase the spacing there a bit more. So maybe we can actually get away with 22. That looks pretty good. And there we go. That fits nicely on the one line. So I think a blog title, this is probably a good sort of length for a blog title anyway. So if you're looking for good Google searches and you're searching for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. Those are the sort of searches that do fairly well when people are searching for blogs. These little 2-word titles don't do that well actually. So I think keep your titles nice and long like that, and then just figure out how many characters that we've got there, and don't go too long that it breaks onto the second line. But I think that that's looking a lot better now. Let's go ahead and click update. The other issue we had, what I mentioned earlier, is that the aspect ratios of our featured images don't match up. So this one is wider than this one, and then it's effectively put the corner of the image is higher than the corner of the image there. So this is why you really want to use an identical size for all your featured images. So I think the best way to design nice featured images is actually just doing that in Canva, and then you can add like text effects as well and other cool things. So let's head over to Canva and let's actually make some nice featured images, and let's do this all really properly. So here I am back on canva.com, and let's create a design. Now we want to make custom dimensions. Now the best size for a blog featured image is actually 1200 by 628. Now don't ask me why that is, but it looks good on most themes, and it's also really good for sharing, like if you're sharing on Facebook or if you're sharing with other bloggers. So let's go ahead and make some featured images that are 1200 by 628. So you can use any image editing software that you like to do this. I'm just using Canva for this actual demonstration, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go to photos, and in here we can actually upload photos. So we can upload those fitness photos that we used. We can search for fitness photos in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and grab a few things. So there's a girl doing that there, and I'm going to go ahead and let's make it so it's filling our featured image. So that looks about right. Doesn't need to be that big. I might change the sizing there, and there, let's just make it so it fits. We're going to call it fitness 1, and we can download that as a JPEG. There we go. Now I'm going to want to get probably 4 fitness photos and 4 nutrition photos, just so we can make 4 posts for fitness, 4 posts for nutrition, and have a bit of a different design with 2 different blog pages and featured images for all of these. So let's grab another image. There we go. There's lots of free ones on here, and again we have to just adjust that to how we like it. That one doesn't really work with this aspect ratio all that well, does it? So let's pick something else. This is not too bad. This is okay. There we go. It's just a matter of cropping them to that size that works well in WordPress. So let's download that. I'm going to call that Fitness 2. And then download that as a JPEG. There we go. So you can just keep repeating that. I'm just going to skip ahead until I've got 4 fitness images and 4 nutrition images all in that same 1200 times 628 size. All right, so I've gone ahead and got 4 nutrition pictures and 4 fitness pictures, and they've all been formatted into this nice 1200 by 628 size. The other thing I should show you quickly is you can actually upload things. So we can actually upload the ones that we got from Pexels earlier. So we'll go into that fitness folder and say we wanted to reformat one of the ones we were using before. So let's take that girl doing the planking, and we can go ahead and pop that in. So upload it, and then as soon as that's done, we can go ahead and drag that onto our image there. So just drag it onto there, and then it anchors automatically to the corner. You can drag it across, and then just adjust the position to where you're happy with it. There we go. Somewhere like that would look pretty good. And then we can go ahead and download that again. So that actually makes 5 for our fitnesses. Hang on, I'll rename it to Fitness 5. Fitness 5. There we go. Download, and you can download a PNG or a JPEG. A JPEG is a little bit better compression, I think, for featured images. So go ahead and do that. Now that we've got our featured images all sorted, let's go back to our up to our dashboard, and let's actually upload these into our media library. So I'm going to head back to the dashboard. You can always get to the dashboard through the top hamburger there and go exit to the dashboard. There we go. In that case, because we were on the blog page, it took us to the blog editor. So I'm going to hit the little WordPress icon in the corner there, and then we can go to our media library, and let's just go ahead and add some new media there. So we can upload those files that we just made. I put those under my downloads. Those are the 8 items we've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5 fitness and 4 nutrition photos. Go ahead and upload those ones. Now those are all set to use as our featured images. So we can go back to that edit post, and let's replace that image with one of the ones that we resized using Canva. So under our media library, we can go and grab one of those, and we can go ahead and set that featured image. Now we're going to use that size on all of our future blog posts, so it'll be a nice even grid. So now let's work on setting up those 2 categories. To set up categories, we go back to our dashboard, and under posts, there's a menu item called categories. So let's click that one. What we want to do is make 2 categories, one called fitness and one called nutrition. So let's type that in here, fitness, add a new category, and nutrition, and add that new category. And then we can actually go ahead and delete that uncategorized option as well. By default, uncategorized is the default category, and to delete it, we have to make something else the default category. So to do that, we go to settings and we go to writing. And under this option, we've got the default post category, and we can actually change that now to one of our new categories. So let's go for fitness, because I think most of our blog on the fitness blog will be about fitness rather than nutrition, but just choose whatever is right for you. Click Save Changes, and that's all saved. Now we can go back to our posts and look at our categories again. And then here we can go ahead and click uncategorized and delete that one. So as soon as we delete that one, we can reload. And what it's done is it's taken the 4 existing posts that we've got and put them under fitness. So it'll take everything that was under uncategorized and put them into the new default, which was fitness. So that's all pretty good. What we can do is start making some new fitness posts, delete the demo ones, and add some nutrition posts as well. So let's get started on that. Let's go back to all posts. What I'm going to do now is delete the demo ones, just select all 3 of those, and bulk actions, I'm going to move those to the trash. Now don't worry about trashing things. They do stay in your trash for a while, so you can always go back in there and restore them if you need to, but we've only got 1 post now. That was the demo post we made before. Let's go ahead and add a new post for fitness. Here we go. Now let's actually start by setting the featured image. So that will show us the ones that we made in Canva earlier. And let's go for this one here. So it's the barbell. I'm going to call it a barbell in the alt text. It is good to set up some alt text for the search engines to find things. So maybe let's make this about barbell training. So let's say maybe is 50 too old for barbell training. And these sort of topics are good because these are the sort of things that people actually type into Google. And if you write a really good article about explaining why, how some exercises are still good, even though you're 50 years old and you can still do some kinds of barbell training, but maybe some other ones you might not want to do depending on the health of your body, these sort of posts do really well. But I'm just going to put some filler in here. Let's do that a little bit. Maybe pop an image down there to make it a little bit more interesting, shall we? And let's upload media library. Let's pop something in there. Maybe there's not too many weight training ones. Oh, she's weight training. We can pop that in there. She doesn't look like she's 50 though, does she? Doesn't really matter. This is just a demo. So we can do the alignment by clicking the image, clicking this little guy here and aligning it to the center. And then we can go ahead and publish that one. So it's 52 old for barbell training. Let's go ahead and view that post. So there's our featured image. It's 52 old for barbell training, and then we've got a little bit of a breadcrumb there. I can actually remove that. I might show you how to do that in a second. There's our image and a little bit more text. So that's the basics of how to do that. And if we go back to our blog again, we can see that that one should be appearing there. So it's all looking pretty right. Let's go back and add a few more posts. I'm not going to show you adding all those posts. I might just skip ahead until I've got 4 fitness posts. That's all done. I've actually got 5 posts now. So if we go to our blog and reload, we can actually see the new ones there, but not all 5 are showing, only 3 is showing. And that is because back in Elementor, I think this must be set to only display 3 posts. So let's go back to the content and general. And yeah, it looks like it's set to 3. So let's bump it up to 4. So there's 4 there. And let's set it, now that we've got 5 posts, we might be able to set it so it's got a page selection tool down the bottom. So let's try and do that. So down the bottom there, you've got pagination, and you just turn pagination on. We can set that number of posts to, we can set it to like a very high number, so make it 300 perhaps. That way you can scroll through, and then you could publish up to 300 posts and just have pages and pages and pages that will pop up down there. You've got previous and next strings on. You can actually name them previous and next. So you could say next and back, maybe if you wanted to. You could name them how you want, but I think next and previous sounds okay. Let's click update. Cool, let's see what that looks like on our blog. So there we go. If we flip to the next page, we should be able to get the oldest post we made, fitness tips for home office workers. It was called Fitness Tips before, but I renamed it for Fitness Tips for Home Office Workers because it sounds a bit more interesting and a little bit more niche in terms of what people might be searching for. Same with all these. You want to make things that would interest people when they're typing something into Google, and then go ahead and do a good job of answering or researching these issues, such as, is 52 old for barbell training? Is it safe to do 100 push-ups? I think people are really searching, is it safe to do certain things, or what are the benefits of doing certain things? So those are good tips for making good blog titles. This is stop weighing yourself, do this instead. So what are we going to do instead? We're going to measure our body with a tape measure rather than weighing ourselves for a change. So maybe you go and explain why that's better to do that sometimes. Okay, so that's enough on fitness. We've done our fitness posts, but we wanted to do a multi-category blog. So we wanted to do some nutrition posts. We set up that nutrition category a little bit earlier. See, under posts and categories, we've got the nutrition category there already done. So let's go back to add a new post. And we want to make a post about nutrition. Now, the default category is fitness, but we can actually change our category to nutrition if we want to. So let's go ahead and check nutrition. And let's say, now can I eat, what's something that we've got in here? We have got some soft-boiled eggs there. Can I eat soft-boiled eggs? If pregnant. I think a lot of pregnant women are searching for if they can eat a certain thing because they get cravings, and they're also worried about getting sick when pregnant. So you could write a really nice article researching this, because I think it's quite a controversial topic. Some health authorities are saying it's okay now, but traditionally people have said maybe you should avoid it. So you could go ahead and answer that question as best you can with the best research you can do. And let's go ahead and just put some demo content in here. There we go, and then let's publish that one. There we go. So now we've got our first nutrition post. So I'm going to go ahead and make a few more nutrition posts in the same method. So let's go back to our dash, and let's add that new post. And let's go ahead and add a few more posts. So there we go, we've got 4 posts done on nutrition. Let's go and reload our blog. And there we go, we can see our 4 nutrition posts are now the most recent ones. And we can scroll back through our posts and find the fitness post that we did earlier. So that's all good. Let's go ahead and look at one of these posts. So I wanted to show you how you can actually alter the template a little bit before we get along to making separate pages about nutrition and fitness. But what we've noticed is that all the categories are stuck together on the one blog page. So nutrition and fitness posts are all mixed together. If I were to make a fitness post now, it'll go to the top and push the nutrition posts down one. So I'm going to show you how to separate these posts, as well as keeping our original homepage where the latest post pops up there as well. So let's get working on that. But before we do that, I wanted to actually customize the blog page template a little bit, because we can actually edit the images and the breadcrumbs on this page. So we can go to customize. Now this is in our theme customizer, and we go to blog, and this will actually affect all blog posts. So we go to single posts, and we can actually alter what we want there. So we can turn the featured image off. Let's say we didn't want to use the featured image at the top all the time, and maybe we wanted to post our featured image manually into the content rather than having it right at the top. So you could do that by turning the featured image off. You could actually turn the title off as well, and the blog meta, so that just leaves it blank. You could do that manually. You could write something different maybe at the top in the blog editor itself. I'd like to turn that off. I like to turn it on, title and blog meta on, but sometimes I might turn the category and author off, make it look a little bit cleaner. There we go. And we don't have any comments on anyway, but we'll turn comments off just to be safe. So there it is. It's nice and tidy there. You could turn that featured image on. I quite like the featured image sometimes. It depends on what you're going for. The featured image is okay. So let's go ahead and publish that. But I do generally like to turn off those little breadcrumbs. So that looks pretty good. You'll notice there's not actually that many options in the free version of Astra. If you wanted more options in a free version, you could look at Ocean WP, but this is actually fine for most people. And all you need to do, if you want to add more detail, just write it manually into the post. And there's a little bit of typography options down there. You could edit the page title size, but apart from that, not really much you can do on the free version, but it's still fine for getting started writing a blog. It's most important just to get your content out there on the web, get it tracked by Google, and start getting some readers onto your website. Okay, now what we want to do is add a fitness page and a nutrition page rather than having just one generic blog page. So let's go back to our pages. And what we want to do is make a new page for nutrition and a new page for fitness. Now we could do this by adding a new page and then building it in Elementor, but we already have a blog page that looks pretty good already. So we have a blog page here, but the only problem is it displays all the categories. We can easily change that in Elementor, but we don't really need to build a whole new page from scratch. What we can do is duplicate that page and then make that small edit. So let's go ahead and duplicate this one. This can be our fitness page. I'm going to go to edit, and we're just going to rename that one. We'll call it fitness. So just change the title there. And we also want to make sure that permalink is changed to fitness. It looks like it does that automatically now. There we go. We can go ahead and view that page. See, now we basically have a copy. Let's reload that. Doesn't look like it loaded properly. Of our blog page. I think we do need to load that in Elementor before the formatting will actually load up properly. There we go. So now we're in Elementor. Now this is just a copy of our blog page, but what we want this to be is a fitness page. So all we do is go to our blog grid, and we want to change the query to only be fitness. There we go. We can actually see the two categories in there now, fitness and nutrition. So this is going to be our fitness page. And now if I select fitness, it only shows our fitness posts. So if I click apply, there we go, and then update. So that's all good. That is our fitness page. So let's go back to our dashboard. I'll just do it like this. And let's go to our pages and all pages. I want to repeat this process for nutrition. So I'm going to copy the blog with PA duplicate. That uses the premium add-ons for Elementor. It adds that duplication option. Then we're going to edit that duplicated page. Wait for that to load up. This is going to be nutrition. Nutrition there. Make sure the permalinks change to nutrition. Hit publish. Hit publish again to confirm. And we can go ahead and view that page. Then we want to edit that in Elementor. Go and hit the corner of that blog grid element. There we go. And under query, we wanted to query only the nutrition posts. So there we go. And now we've got our nutrition page. Hit update. Maybe I should hit apply first. Let's just hit apply to be safe. Cool. There we go. All good. Now I know what you're thinking next. We've made these nutrition and fitness pages, but they're not in our menu. How can we get those into our menu? So let's go back to our customizer, under our theme customizer. You can always get there through your dashboard. I'll show you how to do that. Let's go exit out to our dashboard. You can get to your customizer fairly easily. I'll head to my dashboard. Here we go. So under appearance, you can always go to customize from there. Also, when you're viewing your actual page, the customizer is always visible there. So either way you want to do that, get to your customizer, head to our main menu, and let's look at menus. And in this case, it's the top navigation menu. And there we go. We've got home, about, blog, and contact. So we're going to add items. Now we can add the pages that we've made. So all the pages automatically show up on that list. So I want to add nutrition and add fitness. And let's actually remove blog. So there we go. We've got nutrition, we've got fitness, and home, about, and contact. So let's actually move those to the top, I think. Fitness and nutrition can be at the top. Maybe home is at the top. Home, fitness, nutrition, about, contact. That seems good. Hit publish. We're all good. I think we are 90% of the way done. Let's open our home page and have a look. So now we've got our header there. We can scroll down. We can see the latest post from the blog automatically pops up there. So that's top 5 foods to avoid when burning fat. We can click on fitness there. We've got our fitness posts. We can click on nutrition there, and we've got nutrition posts. We can go ahead and edit either of those with Elementor. Maybe we'd want a separate header design maybe for nutrition and for fitness. But I think we are 90% of the way done. One thing I wanted to work on was this form here. So we can finish that up, and I wanted to actually make it a little bit simpler. I just wanted to maybe make it just name and email. I think would be better for this design. So let's actually go back to our dashboard and let's work on that. So from our dashboard, we've got a plugin called WPForms that came with our starter template site. So we could go ahead and go to our all forms. And I think this is it's either our newsletter sign up form or the contact form. We have to figure out which form that is actually. So let's go ahead and edit that with Elementor. And let's just figure out which shortcode they're using for this one. So here we are on Elementor. Let's go ahead and click the pencil for that form. And we can see WPForms ID is number 7 there. So let's head back to here and we can see number 7 is this one. So that's the contact form. Let's go ahead and edit that one. That'll take us to our WPForms contact form builder. So we can actually go in here and we can change the form. So I can click on the bin and I can bin the phone number and I can bin the message. And that looks all good. And we can go ahead and click save. So now if I go back to the main page and click reload, maybe only the 2 fields are showing. So we could actually simplify it even more and just have the email address maybe and just collect the email, but name and email, it seems pretty good. So let's go back to our WPForms and let's do a little bit more work on the settings here. So we head to settings and notifications. So this is the only thing we really need to set up to make sure the form works. The two things we want to pay attention to here are the to address and the from address. The from address is really important because that needs to originate from the same domain as your website. So make sure you set that up properly. I'm going to use that one because I'm on ideademo.site, but whatever site you're on, you use that as your domain. And I'm going to change that to WPForm, just so when I receive the form in my email, I can remember that it's from WPForm, the contact form that I set up. And it's really important to do that because otherwise if it doesn't match, it might get sent to spam, particularly if you're using Gmail or Yahoo or something like that. It'll automatically filter out things that don't match the original domain that they're from. And for the to address, let's just choose whatever address you'd like the form to go to. So I might send this to ideaspotclass@gmail.com. So that's all good. Let's go ahead and save that. So that should all be working now. And I think our blog is pretty much ready to go. Well, let's go and have a look at what we've done. So let's reload that. So we've got our header that we set up in Elementor. We did that just by editing the original starter template. And then we actually built a section ourselves from scratch in Elementor. We showed you how to put a single blog post onto the main page just by putting the latest post on there. And also we imported some template from Astra demo templates as well. So there's lots of ways you can actually add redesign things to your website. We actually added these fitness and nutrition sections to our menu there. So every time we make a post categorized as nutrition, it'll end up in here. Categorized as fitness, it'll end up in here. So that's all we really need to do this. You've got your contact form on the front page where people can contact you, and we've got all the skills we need to make new posts and to edit our page in Elementor. So that's all you really need to get started. So hopefully that's been useful. As usual, let me know if you've got any questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything that you need, and hit like if you've made it this far, and subscribe for more videos as well because I'm bringing out free tutorials every single week. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.